Don't say it yet. Mercury, Jupiter. The promise your mouth is making that your life cannot keep. You are about to say something you are not ready to say, not because it is untrue. The dangerous part of Mercury square Jupiter is not that it produces lies. It produces truths that are too large for the moment they are spoken in. The feeling is unmistakable. A conversation opens and something rises in you. A declaration, a promise, a vision of what you want to build or who you want to become. And it feels so clear, so right, so obviously the thing that needs to be said that the words begin leaving your mouth before you have checked whether the structure of your actual life can hold what the words are committing you to. That is Mercury square Jupiter, the planet of communication in Aries, direct, impulsive, operating at the speed of the first thought rather than the second, forming a 90-degree tension angle with Jupiter in Cancer, the planet of expansion, of meaning, of the specific quality of belief that makes everything feel larger, more significant, more possible than it may actually be at this precise moment. Mercury in Aries says, "Speak now, speak first. Speak before the caution arrives." Jupiter in Cancer says, "What you are feeling is enormous, important, and connected to the deepest truth of what you need." Both of these are individually correct, but combined at a square angle, the aspect of maximum friction, they produce a specific and recognizable danger. The moment when what is emotionally true gets declared at a scale that the current reality cannot yet support. The promise that is genuine but premature. The commitment that is felt in the bones, but spoken before the bones have been tested. The vision that is real, but announced before the foundation has been built to hold it. On April 26th, this square is exact. And in the days surrounding it, your mouth will want to make commitments your life has not yet earned the right to make. Not because you are dishonest, because the combination of Aries' directness and Jupiter's expansion creates a specific inflation of what feels speakable, a temporary enlargement of the gap between what is felt and what is structurally ready to be declared. By the time this video is over, you will understand what this square actually produces, why the specific combination of Mercury in Aries and Jupiter in Cancer is uniquely prone to premature declaration, and what each sign needs to do in the 48 hours surrounding April 26th to use the square's energy without being used by it. Stay here, because the thing you are about to say may be the truest thing you have ever felt. And the truest things deserve better timing than the moment Mercury square Jupiter is pressing them out of you. Let me start with what Mercury in Aries does to speech. Mercury is the planet of communication. How you think, how you process, how you translate interior experience into words. In Aries, Mercury operates at maximum speed and minimum filtration. The first sign does not deliberate, it initiates. Mercury in Aries produces the kind of speech that arrives before the speaker has finished evaluating whether it should arrive. Not reckless in the destructive sense, honest in the impulsive sense. The thought forms and the mouth opens simultaneously. The gap between thinking and speaking, which in most signs provides a buffer for calibration, in Aries collapses to nearly zero. This is Mercury in Aries' gift. Directness that cuts through the elaborate architecture of managed communication and says what is actually true. And this is its danger. The directness does not check whether what is true is also ready. Now add Jupiter. Jupiter in Cancer has been expanding the emotional territory for months, deepening the awareness of what you need, widening the capacity to feel, making the interior landscape larger and more vivid. Under Jupiter in Cancer, what you feel is not small. It carries the specific weight of something connected to the oldest, most personal layer of your emotional truth. When Mercury in Aries, which speaks before filtering, meets Jupiter in Cancer, which expands what is felt to its maximum emotional significance, at a square angle, the result is specific. The most emotionally significant truth you are carrying gets spoken at the speed of Aries, without the structural readiness check that would normally prevent premature declaration. You say the enormous thing. And the enormous thing is true, but the timing is wrong. Not because the truth should be suppressed, because the truth deserves a container that is ready for it. And the container, the relationship, the career, the commitment structure, the actual architecture of your daily life, may not yet be at the point where it can hold what your mouth just promised. This is the specific danger of April 26th. Not line, not exaggeration in the cheap sense. The specific inflation that happens when genuine emotional truth gets declared at a scale the current moment cannot support. The promise your mouth makes that your life cannot yet keep. Here is how this feels in the body. Because Mercury-Jupiter squares announce themselves through a specific physical quality before the words actually leave. You will notice a rising sensation in the chest and throat, the specific feeling of something large pressing upward towards speech. Not anxiety, urgency. The quality of a truth that has been waiting, and suddenly feels like it cannot wait another moment. That urgency is real. The truth is real. What is not real is the timeline the urgency is imposing. The urgency says now. The structure says not yet. The second sign is a quality of certainty that feels almost religious. Under Mercury square Jupiter, what you believe about what you are about to say carries an inflated confidence. The specific quality of knowing, without examination, that this is the right thing to say at the right time. That certainty is Jupiter's inflation operating on Mercury's speech function. The certainty feels like wisdom. It may be premature wisdom, the kind that is correct in content but wrong in timing. The third sign is the specific quality of the audience expanding in your imagination. Under this square, you do not just want to say the thing, you want to say it to everyone, to declare it publicly, to make the commitment visible at the largest possible scale. Mercury in Aries wants to be first. Jupiter in Cancer wants to be significant. Together at a square. The impulse to make the declaration as large and as public as the feeling warrants. The feeling warrants enormity. The timing may not. Here is where this square lands for each sign. If you are Aries or Aries rising, Mercury is in your first house. The words come directly from your identity. Jupiter squares from your fourth house. The emotional depth of home and roots inflates every declaration. The danger: promising a version of yourself that your foundation has not yet been built to support. If you are Cancer or Cancer rising, Jupiter is in your first house. Everything you feel is at maximum expansion. Mercury squares from your 10th house. The declaration wants to be public, career-facing, visible. The danger: making a professional commitment from an emotional place that has not been translated into practical terms. If you are Libra or Libra rising, Mercury activates your 7th house. The words are relational, aimed at a partner. Jupiter squares from your 10th house. The promise inflates to career scale. The danger? Committing to a partnership dynamic that sounds beautiful but has not been structurally examined. If you are Capricorn or Capricorn rising, Mercury is in your 4th house. The declaration comes from the roots. Jupiter squares from your 7th house. The expansion is relational. The danger? Promising emotional availability at a scale your actual capacity has not yet reached. If you are Gemini or Gemini rising, Mercury is in your 11th house. The words go to the community, the network, the future vision. Jupiter squares from your 2nd house. The expansion is financial or value-based. The danger? Committing resources to a collective vision before the personal finances can support it. If you are Virgo or Virgo rising, Mercury activates your 8th house. The words touch the most intimate shared territory. Jupiter squares from your 11th house. The expansion is social and future-oriented. The danger? making promises about shared resources based on a future that has not yet materialized. If you are Taurus or Taurus rising, Mercury is in your 12th house. The words come from the unconscious, from dreams, from the deepest interior. Jupiter squares from your 3rd house. The expansion wants daily communication. The danger? Speaking something that belongs in the private interior as if it belongs in the daily exchange. If you are Leo or Leo rising, Mercury activates your 9th house. The words carry philosophical weight, teaching authority. Jupiter squares from your 12th house. The expansion is invisible, spiritual, unconscious. The danger? Declaring a belief with the authority of certainty when the belief is still forming in the unconscious. If you are Scorpio or Scorpio rising, Mercury is in your 6th house. The words are about daily work, health, practical service. Jupiter squares from your 9th house. The expansion is about meaning and higher truth. The danger? Inflating a practical commitment with philosophical significance it cannot carry. If you are Aquarius or Aquarius rising, Mercury activates your 3rd house. The words are quick, daily, informational. Jupiter squares from your 6th house. The expansion is about work and health routines. The danger? Making casual commitments about daily habits that carry more structural weight than they appear to. If you are Sagittarius or Sagittarius rising, Mercury is in your 5th house. The words are creative, playful, romantic. Jupiter squares from your 8th house. The expansion is about deep bonds and shared power. The danger? Making a romantic or creative declaration that touches the deepest shared territory before both people are ready for what the declaration opens. If you are Pisces or Pisces rising, Mercury activates your 2nd house. The words are about value, money, what you are worth. Jupiter squares from your 5th house. The expansion is creative and joyful. The danger? Committing financial resources to a creative vision based on how the vision feels rather than what the budget can hold. Here is what the 48 hours surrounding April 26th are specifically asking of you. Not silence, not the suppression of what is true. A pause. The specific, deliberate, 3-breath pause between the moment the truth rises and the moment it leaves your mouth. In those 3 breaths, ask one question. Not, is this true? You already know it is true. The question is, can my life hold what my mouth is about to promise? If the answer is yes, if the structure, the relationship, the commitment architecture of your actual daily life is genuinely ready for what you are about to declare, then speak. Mercury square Jupiter inflates the timing, not the truth. If the truth and the timing are both ready, the square becomes fuel rather than fire. If the answer is not yet, if the truth is real but the container is still under construction, then write it down. Do not suppress it. Do not swallow it back. Give it to the page. Let it exist in written form where it can mature without the premature commitment that speech in this window carries. The page holds what the mouth would have overpromised. And when the container is ready, when the structure of your life has caught up with the truth you are carrying, the words on the page will be waiting. Write in the comments the truth that is pressing to be spoken right now, the one that feels enormous and urgent and undeniable. Not to declare it at scale, to give it its first form in a space where the timing cannot overpromise. Subscribe and turn on the bell, because the days following Mercury square Jupiter will reveal what was spoken prematurely and what was spoken at the right time. And understanding the difference will reshape how you communicate for the rest of this transit season. The universe has spoken. What comes next is in your hands.